Alrighty, it's 7 p.m. Tuesday, April 8th, 2025. I'd like to call the Town of Lake Mills Town Board to order. Notice is posted at the Town Hall and the town's website. Can we get a motion to adopt tonight's agenda?
I'll make a motion to adopt the agenda for tonight.
Second that motion.
Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Motion carries. Can we get approval of the public hearing for proposed ordinance amendment minutes on March 11th, 2025?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of the public hearing on March 11th.
Second.
Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Motion carries. Can we get a motion to approve the March 11th Town Board meeting minutes?
I'll make a motion to approve the March 11th Town Board regular meeting minutes.
Minutes. I'll second that for discussion.
Okay, any other discussion?
Yeah, under 9, you've got old business F and 9E are the same thing, right? So you can just get rid of the E, item E under 9.
9E.
They're both on the Cedar Lane
Okay.
DNR permit.
And I think what it was, this is how it was on the agenda, and that's why I put no action behind this one. Because there was no action on this item.
Okay, so it was on there?
It was on the
Yeah.
agenda twice, yeah.
All right, no changes then.
All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, all opposed, say nay. Motion carries. Can we get a motion to approve the treasurer's report?
We got the special
meeting
Ooh,
minutes.
sorry. Yep.
Make a motion to approve the minutes of the special meeting we had on Tuesday, March 18th at 8 a.m.
Second.
Any other discussion on those? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Motion carries. Can we get a motion to approve the treasurer's report?
Make a motion to approve the April 2025 treasurer's report.
Second.
Any other discussion?
Nope.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Motion carries. Can we get a motion to approve the expense sheets?
Two, Sharon.
Yep, Sharon had one for 6187, and then I had one for election expenses of 10985.
Didn't you have one in there too?
I did, I don't have it with me, mine was,
Yeah, his is within the packet of the rest of the
Yep.
regular
You wanna
bills.
see it?
No, I already saw it.
Yeah.
I saw his.
Yeah, I
It's
saw
listed-
it.
Listed on the sheet there.
Yep,
Okay.
Mostly boat supply, right?
yep, both supply.
yep.
Make a motion to approve the expense sheets for Robin, Sharon, and
Right.
Robert.
Chief.
Second.
Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Motion carries. Can we get a motion to approve general fund vouching?
I'll make a motion to approve April's disbursements for $69,939.73.
Second that motion.
Any other discussion?
Nope.
All in favor, say aye.
All right.
Aye. All opposed, say nay. Motion carries. Reports. Police report, Chief Kaminsky.
Okay, so as of last week, on Friday, I went and picked up the new boat, so we do have the new boat here. Working with our vendors to get things done, like lights and all the other equipment put on it and stuff like that. So just waiting on timelines now to get that done. The old boat, I took that today out to the Wisconsin Surplus Auction, so it went out there. They have it, it'll go online next week. Their new auction starts next week, so it'll go up on the auction next week. So it'll be on auction for a few weeks before it's sold. So that's all good news, good things happening there. Ryan Walters was our boat sergeant. Ryan left the PD last year, took another job. He was the boat sergeant, so I talked with Randy Burns. I talked with all the officers on the PD, and Randy was our most active boat officer as of last year and has the most interest in being the boat sergeant. He's real good at all the reports, all of the end of year reports. He worked with Robin to get everything completed, so I'm gonna most likely next month promote Randy to our boat sergeant once we get the boat up and running again, the new boat. Working with the DNR for boat training. We're gonna host boat training here at Town Hall sometime this month. I'm working with them to finalize a date. There are departments besides us. We have a couple officers. Town of Oakland has a couple officers, and Jefferson County Sheriff's Department has new deputies on their rec team as well. So we all in the area need DNR boat training. So we're going to host it here, most likely at the end of the month. We're just figuring out a final date on that. So, and then with patrol activity for March, we had 15 total hours of patrol time. Between myself and Sergeant Miller. We both worked patrol hours. We had a total of 11 traffic stops in March, 4 repair notices, 5 written warnings, 11 citations were issued. We followed up on several garbage complaints in March again, and did several park checks. And that's my report.
Excellent. Thanks, Chief Kaminsky, and thanks for your service and getting everything in line.
Thank you.
Plan Commission report, Jim.
The petition for John Helt for conditional use and a rezone was approved, passed on to the town board.
Okay, thanks, Jim. Fire and EMS reports, Dave.
Okay, Cambridge, we put in for a grant to the Cambridge Foundation to replace the roof on the fire station, and we were granted that up to $50,000. They started on the roof last Thursday. They finished it yesterday, so it looks like it's going to come in around $43,000-ish right now. I haven't seen the last invoice come through, so sweet. Thank you very much to the Cambridge Foundation. Also, there was they received 3 letters of support for the consultant to try to work through our issues. We have a new medical director. We started 12:01 Sunday night p.m. It is Mercy Health, and which is really going to, in a couple ways, work out pretty well because number one, they don't charge. So otherwise we were paying $1,000 a month for our other director. And also, the Mercy Health works with Jefferson, Fort Atkinson, so then training will be a collaboration between the 3 departments. So they can get to know one another and share ideas. We took an application out for ZipRecruiter, guaranteed hire for EMT paramedics and A's and E's, and also we took hired a firm for contract LTEs. So far we have 1 new hire, and she is right now going through the background checks. So that's it.
Excellent.
And Tom, I think Chief Ross is here somewhere too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I want to do that now. Chief Russ.
Well, good evening, everybody. My report should have came out for our monthly, which would be for the month of March. I also do have Ryan Brothers here. They ran a total of 55 calls. 39 of those were transports. And then between the 2 of us, we ran a total of 63 calls throughout. Town of Lake Mills accounted for 7 of them from Ryan Brothers, and I believe 2 of them from Lake Mills. So. Biggest things in the department, we're beginning our CIP project planning again for the city. We always try to keep a rolling 5-year plan out there. So we're looking at 2029, up till 2029 is pretty much set. We might have some modifications as time goes on, things that happen to change a little bit more quicker than what we were originally planning. So right now we're planning out till 2029. We maintained our roster at 42 members, POC members, and 2 FTEs. CPR classes have really been on an uptick for us. We've just finished with Jefferson County staff. I believe we did 40-some members of their staff down there. And then major incidents have really been the brush fires. My word of advice, if anybody is going to burn early in the day. Keep your burns small. Have water on hand. Avoid windy days over 10 miles an hour. And if you burn and you think it's out of control, I'm not saying when it's out of control, I'm saying if you think it's out of control, call us. We don't charge to come out and help you out with extinguishing. Our last one was up against I-94. A gentleman was burning his normal ditch that he does, and the fire jumped approximately 12 feet of nice fresh green grass that was growing and started the side of the hill on fire. So again, just call early. And then the other one was we had a unfortunate fatality incident down in the town of Oakland. So any questions that I can answer for anybody?
Can you explain what the CIP is?
Capital improvement planning projects.
I know I'm gonna get that question.
Two other things, I know for the new board, welcome for those of you that are coming on. We do a quarterly meeting with the townships. When I came here and started as the fire chief, it was one of the things that the township said that they had asked for multiple times. And there was just a little bit of hiccup getting it moving, but we do have that moving now, so I look forward to meeting each and every one of you throughout the time. And we'll be planning one here between the months of April till June at some point in time. I normally reach out through Robin, and then she'll disseminate it to the new board members. And the last thing I have is, it's been a pleasure to work with you gentlemen, getting to know you more and more. Obviously, sometimes there's headaches, but I think overall it's mostly good. It is very hard to sit on a board, in which you guys do, so congratulations for your time on it, and congratulations for moving on and the new board members coming in. So.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chief.
Yep, and thanks for your service. Joint Rock Lake Committee report.
Good evening, Mr. Chair and members of the board. Thank you for the opportunity to speak with you for a couple minutes today. My name is Pat Stevens, and I'm currently serving as Chair of the Joint Rock Lake Committee, and I'm here to give you a short update. First thing I wanted to touch base on had to do with just our committee membership, and I think as you're mainly aware of it, I wanted to share it with some others that may not be as familiar with it. It's just that the way the Joint Rock Lake Committee is actually structured, we are structured to have 5 members. Currently, we have 4 that are on the board, 2 that are sitting on behalf of the city, and 2 that are there from the town. So I wanted to make sure you're aware that there is yet another position to be filled if you'd like to take advantage of that and fill that specific position. I also did want to thank you for adding Dan Varnish recently to the committee. He's been a great addition, and we're really happy to have him join us as well. So thank you for filling that position as well. And then just a final reminder in terms of our responsibilities. We are really a recommending body. We are here to help you. We're really not a policy-making body, and I would encourage you or your successors to take advantage of that. There's a couple of things we think that we've added a lot of good information for your consideration. Most recently, of course, for the wake boats, we provided a fair amount of information to you regarding that topic. On another matter that was before the city, we provided a lot of information regarding the dam order that's in place and changes to that as well. So again, I think we can be a useful resource for the board. I did want to touch for a quick moment on wake boats. I know that's going to be a topic tonight. We did provide you, as I just mentioned, with the written report, and we also testified at your last hearing regarding wake boats. As I mentioned, that wake boat report had a lot of information, including a summary of all the testimony that we've gotten as a result of a public hearing that we held on that particular matter. The presentation also included discussion regarding potential impacts regarding wake boats and a list of potential actions that we considered as we made our final recommendation to you. Our recommendation, again, just as a reminder, was to establish a distance and depth requirement, 700 feet from shore and 30 feet deep for deploying wake boat technology. So that was our recommendation that we ended up with. Ultimately, what we were trying to do was to provide an opportunity for folks to still enjoy their use of wake boats, and at the same time, providing some pretty significant protections regarding the resource. Next topic I want to touch on briefly was the Majala Channel. The town previously, I know, approved a motion to move forward to hire a consultant and scope the dredging project for that area between the road and the barrier that's currently there. We just wanted to offer that we'd be happy to try to help out any way we can. That involves tracking down information at DNR. Don't really know where you, or if you've decided how to split up who's doing what regarding moving forward with that project. But again, we're willing to help to the extent that we can on any information needs that we can help fulfill. Another important role that we think we can contribute has to do with education. We have been trying to put out articles periodically on topics that we think are relevant regarding the lake, whether they're safety related or environmental related. And again, I think that's something we can do. And if there's issues that you think we should be highlighting more, we would be happy to try to accommodate that. And then again, as I mentioned, we did do a fair amount of work on the dam order, and as I think you're probably aware by now, the city did move forward with getting a modification or pursuing a modification to that order to provide a little bit more flexibility to be able to start to save water earlier in the I guess the winter months to try to ensure that we hit those watermarks for summer recreational uses. So we think that's a positive change that that is being pursued. There's also some technical things in that order that need to be clarified that I think would be good for the city to be modified as well. So on that concludes my report, and appreciate the opportunity to speak with you, and thank you for your service.
Pat, thank you, and thanks to all the committee members for all the hard work that you guys do. And when it comes to lake issues, really, the reason for having the committee in general is for folks to go to you guys and for you to bring it to the town board level as far as concerns and ideas and things like that, just because of the amount of stuff that the town board has to deal with the entirety of the town. So I appreciate those efforts. You know, you guys do put a lot of hard work into it. There's always going to be agreements and disagreements, obviously, but essentially we do appreciate it, and that's why the committee is there, to take that workload off of the town board. So
Appreciate
thanks
it.
for your efforts.
Thank you.
Okay, town chairman report, city, county, state. All right, North End boat launch, it has begun. It's down there this afternoon. Looks like they might have started pulling some of the pads. It looks like that part of the process is going to be 2 to 3 weeks, weather dependent. They're hoping to have the whole pad part done by May 1st. The pier section, it's really going to depend on the pier people and the galvanization process. So that could take a hair bit longer to get that completed, but it is underway. Hopefully we get good weather and just keep things moving along there. Rock Lake Road for Kyle and Newtown Board, that is going to happen in most likely a start date in June sometime. They're going to have their asphalt processing temporary plant nearby that they're putting in place in the area, so that's their goal essentially to start that. The Cedar Lane dredging project, Corey, our town engineer, is working on that, and so that is in process as far as the permitting is concerned. So you'll be continuing to get updates on where he's at in that process to get that submitted for the town. So at the state level, there's not a whole lot new. I wish they would keep working on the EMS stuff, because that is a complicated issue statewide. I know everybody is struggling with it, so I hope they continue to work there. I also know at the state level, there's a lot of ears up in the air on the wake surfing issue. There's a lot of counties that have expressed concern on that issue. So I think it's inevitable in a matter of time that inevitably that the state is going to address that issue and come down with guidance for the local municipalities to go by, which I think is a way better route to go, especially with the lobby pressure behind it and the legalities behind it. And it being a complicated issue with the research that does take time to complete in the state of Wisconsin. Any other questions from you guys on
Yep.
city,
No.
county, state stuff? Trying to think what else there was from the county. As far as roads are concerned, that's a progression in potholes. It's been a bad pothole year right out of the gate. Matt was able to start super early, a lot earlier than anybody else, from Rock Creek. And then it's just weather dependent. So I know there's some roads, I know on North Shore, and there's some other places over on the Elm Point subdivision, where there's a few things coming apart that are going to have to be addressed on a different scale. But he's definitely trying to keep up with that. We're really blessed to have somebody local and that lives in the town to be able to deal with that stuff and deal with it fairly quickly.
One thing, Tom, weight limits, where we at?
That's off.
Is
Came
it
off
off?
Wednesday.
Did you put it on the website, Robin?
I haven't posted it yet, but if anybody calls, I tell them it's off.
Okay.
I haven't had a chance to get
Thank
to that
you.
yet.
Yep. Yeah, it was kind of a little bit of a game. So I was reeling the county because they have frost tubes, and of course their roads are built better than ours.
Yeah.
So or differently. So and from a construction standpoint, so they were starting to do a little bit of culvert work, but then I talked to an excavator too that called me, and he was pulling soil samples, and it depended on where he was at. And a lot of our roads are shaded too, so it's
Right.
going to take longer to come out. So there's not an exact science to it, but it's really, I think there was communication between the state, the county, and other independent contractors to kind of gauge on when to lift that thing. Just because some of our roads are, and I know one of the excavators wanted to go down is not one of our better roads.
Oh, right.
And
Yeah.
the last thing you want is to destroy
Yeah.
the rest of it. That's kind of why I held off. It's been kind of a weird spring.
Yep.
Not as normal like as it was last year.
Do you have a burn ban on at all in town?
Not right now,
Okay.
no.
Okay.
no.
Supposed to rain again tomorrow.
And it seemed like when we were gonna do one, then it did
Yeah,
rain.
yeah,
So
yeah.
it was-
I interrupted just to get some chairs from the behind you for these folks that are standing.
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. They can come up and get a chair.
Yeah.
How many do we need?
Nobody keeling over on us.
No, don't want that. The county, Steve Nass said the county started their EMS committee.
Oh, yeah. I figured that was happening, or I could announce that here after they get settled.
I blamed it on you a couple times, Tom. You were up north and south by Sun Lake.
That's all right. That's all you're doing.
And it is difficult. I've been ditching. I've been still finding frost on the north side and south ditches. Yeah, and is it firm?
I've been more pro friggin' construction job
need any
stuff
more
than
chairs?
probably any other board member
Yeah,
has, but
it's
We got
fine.
one
It's
for
taking
you.
away.
Tracy's coming up there. Do you need a seat yet?
I think we need one more motion for that, John.
You good? All right.
they're all, I'm just gonna introduce the board members.
All right. Good?
Yep. And this, what was the last thing? You just had it on top of your head. Oh, Jim did. The county, at the county level, the county started their countywide EMS committee, so they're gonna be looking into how the county can facilitate some type of help to the communities as well. That's all I have. Next is period of public comment. This is the time the general public can come to the podium. Please keep your comments to 3 minutes, sign in, state your name and your address. Just before everything gets going, I'd like to just welcome the new board members, Kyle Kulo, right here. Tracy Brandel just sat down up in the front here, and John Thode. So welcome. I think they're gonna do a great job. All right, public comment.
please come up to the podium, because otherwise it doesn't pick up on the audio, so.
No problem. Hi, good morning, or good evening. Lee Leverton at N6441, County Road S. Since I'm not on the agenda for, there's a rezone on agenda number 9A. I wanted to comment on that, which is John helped. Well, I haven't met, but I talked to him on the phone, and I assume he's here. Hey, how you doing, John? All right.
In person, finally.
There you go. So we're probably essentially his only neighbor on Highway S, and he's asking for a rezone from A1 to A2, which I have no objection, or my wife, we have no objection regarding that rezone. All I wanted to do was see if we could put a condition on there that what I would prefer is that if you petition in writing, have it reviewed, then it would be reviewed, a way that I could get back to the board if something, right now the way it's running, there's no problem whatsoever. Those balls, I didn't know what they were for a long time, but Dave straightened me out on what they are. And my understanding is that he's gonna run welding in there, a welding shop, and have semis, which I guess he's gonna have a turnaround, which is fine with me. It doesn't even matter to me if they back out onto the road. There's not that much traffic on S. But if I could have some kind of a review, I know you could do it well every year, every 2 years, or even I've heard 5 years, which I think would be too long. If you do that though, then the burden's on the board to bring it back up in 2 years. The burden's on John to have to come in and talk about it. The burden's on me to have to come back. I think if you just left it as open, petition upon writing can have the matter reviewed, then that would handle any, it's not even an objection, but that would handle any concern that I would have. Let me just write my name in here. Did you have any questions? Because that's all I got. Thank you.
Hi, I brought my 6-year-old in tonight and let her talk on our behalf. My name's Morgan Guy, I live at 600 Pinnacle, and Georgie wants, my daughter Georgie's here. She wants to talk on our behalf. Can you read what you wrote?
Go first.
Okay, we really like wake surfing and we'd like it to be around. We think a good compromise is 200 feet from the lake shore, and yeah.
My name is Georgie, and I've been surfing for a while. My sisters, I have 2 sisters, and they haven't got a chance to surf, and I haven't been surfing on my own. So I want them to have a chance to surf too. So.
Okay, good job. Thank you.
Hi, good evening. My name is Scott Polster. I live at N4676 Old Forest Road in the town of Oakland. I have a boat on the north side of Rock Lake on a lift. I am one of the 2 founding members of the Rock Lake Water Sports Group. We formed this group about 2 months ago. Dave Woods and I are leading the group. We want to help the board with information, and we'd really like to work with the Joint Rock Lake Committee and come up with a solution, working with them that could be presented to you that makes, there's 6 different survey, or 6 different science studies. Of course, one side looks at one and another side looks at the other. The science is somewhere in the middle. And we think that working together, we could come up with a solution to make people less unhappy on both sides. You're never going to make everybody happy on both sides, but if you could work together to come up with a solution so that the board doesn't have to go deep into all the data, our 25 members that are really the wake sports, or really the towing sports community, would like to work together with the Joint Rock Lake Committee and find a solution that helps, that people can agree with. There's science somewhere, like I said, in the middle. Somewhere, like also was stated, the state is going to come down with something, so you almost got to help consider that. thank you for your time, thank you for your service, and welcome to the new board. Appreciate it.
Hi there, I'm Brad Recker. I live on Elm Point Road, and I really appreciate the work that JRLC and also the RLIA has been doing. What really concerns me are all the research that's been done by RLIA that shows the detrimental effects and irreparable effects that if it's not a theory, it's been proven on many lakes. It damages the quality of the lake, the health of the water, the fish habitat, etc. And as a owner right on the lake, I would hate for our lake to be ruined because of the wave enhanced technology. And I have other owners just down the street from me, as well as us, pulling tubers that have been skyrocketed into the air, and because of the large waves, and also had a neighbor that the waves came over his pontoon boat. But so there's security issues or concerns, safety concerns, but the biggest concern is the health of the lake, because once the lake is with invasive species being brought on into the lake, which has happened in other lakes, and the fact that a huge number of lakes have already banned wave-enhanced technology is to me an indication that why risk this technology on our lake when it's been proven to be detrimental. So I appreciate your time.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Dan Barnish. I live on the north side of the lake. I mentioned this the last time we had a board meeting, and the wake boating topic as an issue, or being discussed. We've been here for 15 years wake surfing, and there has not been one safety issue. My kids were little, just like that young lady that was up here presenting, and they grew up wake surfing. We have not seen any issues ever on this lake. I've not seen the shoreline. I've not seen damage done by wakeboarding, and that's our enjoyment, and that's our fun. So you guys, the other thing, I've just recently joined the Rock Lake Joint Rock Lake Committee, and I've asked the Rock Lake Improvement Association if we could get science from the other side, and I have not heard back from them. They kind of blown me off on that topic, because I want to have the other side presented as well, and that's really been one side of their science the entire time. So I kind of object to what the Improvement Association is doing. They're not giving a fair, non-biased approach, so I take that into consideration with any decisions. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Mike Niesman. My wife and I live on the lake. We're in the city. And regarding the JRLC's well-intentioned and researched proposal to restrict enhanced wake activity to a certain zone, I think it's highly likely that without an extensive array of buoys to delineate that zone, that even those who are committed to those guidelines would be able to follow. You know, you're trying to look at your depth finder and the boat's up, and you look at the guy behind you. And this doesn't begin to mention visitors who have little to no stake in our lake, and since they can't go to many other lakes, they're going to be coming more to ours. There's going to be increased activity. And in light of the well-known lack, despite your best efforts, of having more police availability, they would have little motivation to obey our rules. And I would also point out that depths that are considered safe today, i.e. 30 feet, may not be considered safe tomorrow. So as a compromise, I would ask you to enact a 2-year moratorium on the operation of watercraft in that enhanced wake matter. They can still pull water skiers, still pull inner tubes, still pull wakeboards, but just don't create the enhanced wake. Enhanced wake production has been associated with a number of problems. The 3 I think most important are: 1, scouring the lake bottom of the native vegetation, which is critical to the habitat. Any gardener knows that if you open up a patch of ground, you aren't going to get flowers, you're going to get weeds. And once aquatic weeds start spreading, there's no known method of reintroducing native aquatic species. Second is disruption and dispersal of the lake bottom sediment by the enhanced waves. I guess we're lucky in the sense that if it happens, we probably will only get increased phosphate levels and not heavy metals and other nasty stuff that a lot of these lakes have in their bottoms. But the disturbed matter will settle back down, coating the vegetation, and the increased phosphorus will accelerate algae growth. Third, given the large amount of residual ballast, even after empty, these boats are likely to bring in whatever aquatic invasive species were in the last lake they were used at. Rock Lake fishermen should be very concerned about the introduction of spiny water fleas from Madison lakes, where they have really created havoc with their fishing. You folks have a difficult job of balancing public good, generally underrepresented at a meeting like this, with private interests which tend to be rather more represented. Asking a proportionally small number of lake users to limit one type of recreation until more data is obtained on their effects and how to ameliorate them doesn't seem unreasonable to me, given the significant possibility of irreparable damage to the lake, which would negatively affect the enjoyment and property values of everyone else. So again, I would ask you to enact a 2-year moratorium on the use of enhanced wake boards and let other lakes be the guinea pigs. Thank you for your service, and I bet you're looking forward to being off the board.
Did you sign in?
Yeah, I signed
Okay,
it.
thank you.
Hi, Susan Trier, N6404 Cedar Lane. Enhanced wake recreation is a contentious issue. Northern Wisconsin is known for its recreational economy and its conservative municipal governance. And yet community after community in Vilas, Burnett, Washburn, Sawyer, and Oneida counties have enacted restrictions on enhanced wake recreation. These are communities suspicious of regulations, and yet they believe that this activity is damaging their lakes and increasing safety concerns. In crowded town hall meetings, they have heard industry representatives question the studies conducted by the University of Minnesota and engineering firms from Wisconsin. They have experienced out-of-town law firms doing what they do best, spreading fear, doubt, and uncertainty, and yet the town still acted to protect their lakes. Over 75 organizations, from hunting and fishing groups to lake associations and conservation groups, have joined together to push back against an industry which designs and sells extremely expensive boats that cannot meet existing Wisconsin state statutes for transporting ballast water. A coalition of this magnitude is unprecedented in Wisconsin history. Should enhanced wake recreation be regulated? Yes. To protect scouring the lake bottom, to protect shorelines, to protect piers, to protect other recreational users. How many other town boards have voted for regulation? Since we last updated you on February 11th, 5 more towns have enacted ordinances, bringing the total to 41 in 17 different counties. 4 more municipalities are voting on ordinances this month. And what is happening locally? This town board reached out to Jefferson County for direction. The county voted to support the Wisconsin Counties Association's position to regulate enhanced wake recreation. The advisory committee to the town and the city, the Joint Rock Lake Committee, voted to recommend the same guidelines as Jefferson County. The next largest lake in Jefferson County, Lake Ripley, has banned enhanced wake recreation, and Spring Lake is discussing the issue. Rock Lake is the economic backbone for our town. Currently, there are about 20 local families actively enjoying enhanced wake recreation. According to RLA's survey, many more families support restrictions. Other lakes have documented damage and conflict between recreational users. It is simply irresponsible to wait for evidence of actual damage to our lake and for an injury to act. You have the opportunity and the authority to protect our lake. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to speak.
Total change of topic. Good evening. My name is Barb Dawson, and I reside at W8394 Cedar Lane, Lake Mills. And my comment relates to the conditional use portion of tonight's agenda item 9A, the rezoning of the parcel at 6484 County Road S from 1A to 2A with conditional use attached. Now, this is something I don't know a great deal about, but my understanding is the general purpose of the zoning regulations are to promote growth, protect property values, preserve character of neighborhoods, and ensure compatibility between different land uses. I know that Jefferson County, in their land use, in item 3, states that to ensure the new development aligns with existing development. Now, this winter, everybody, I think, who went up and down S was fascinated by the balls. A lot of conversation, what are they? Well, this winter, as I watched this go on, I watched the character of this particular parcel shifting away from the surrounding agricultural and residential neighborhood to something that was neither fish nor fowl. As I drive on my way home, I would wonder, is that commercial? Is that agricultural? Is that residential? In the past month, the parked rack trailers with racks of the materials, the balls, on this parcel have grown exponentially. There was a semi out there the other day using the shoulder as a waiting area with running. I'm not sure why, drop off, turn around, I don't know. Right on County S. And this interferes with the traffic flow along there, and it's a heavily traveled county road. To me, it now appears to be more commercial than agricultural or agricultural reserve. So tonight's agenda shows that this will include they asked for a conditional permit for engineering fabrication business. So at that point, I knew it was commercial. Your expertise and information in this area is greater than mine. But because of my observations over these past months, I would ask that you would drop the conditional use portion of this zoning application just to meet the compatibility and character and the safety of the neighborhood. I don't have any problem with going from agriculture to ag 2 or whatever. It's just that conditional use portion that bothers me. Thank you.
Hi, good evening. My name is Holly Barnish. I live at W8129 Manchester Lane, Unit 26 on the north side of the lake. I'm here speaking about the wake technology and just here for the Lake Mills Water Sports group that maintains our collective rights to continue doing this sport. I am here to speak about, as the first gentleman did, about the spirit of collaboration and working together on a compromise. And some of the things that were stated earlier, I feel are extreme and not in the spirit of compromise, like comparing our lake to Lake Ripley, which is completely different in depth and area. Also things like a 2-year moratorium. I mean, asking people not to be able to do their favorite sport until you figure out the science is pretty extreme, I believe. That's like asking someone not to be able to kayak or to use their fishing boat. So I think that this needs to be considered. As well as talking about the disruption in sediment. There's other issues out there like dredging on the eastern side of the lake that would also bring up invasive species and sediment. So we need to look at the whole health of the lake. I like the idea the gentleman brought up about buoys, because this whole concept, if we're going, whether it's 200 feet, 700 feet, being able to figure out where that is as I'm driving a boat, I don't want to be looking at my phone to do that, so that seems like that could be reasonable. But 700 feet also seems a little scary because it puts us all in the middle, and you often see people enjoying swimming in the middle of the lake, and I don't want to be squished in there with a bunch of wake boats causing more problems. So anyway, thank you for your consideration, and look forward to working with the compromise.
Good evening, my name is Paul Bertucci. I live at 1229 Alexandria Lane in Madison. I own Redline Water Sports. We are an active water sports dealer. We have served this community since 1999. In that entire time, we have helped people on Rock Lake enjoy wake-enhanced activities. 1999. I want to remind you guys of rule number 13 from the book Rules for Radicals. Pick the target, freeze it, personalize it, and polarize it. I serve the central Wisconsin lakes from big to medium to small, and I've seen these radical groups come around trying to take wake sports off the water. They've used science. That science is questioned. They've put a lot of fear into communities. They've scared communities. They've used Rule 13 very effectively. The issue is not wake boats. The issue is rough water, 7 Saturdays and 4th of July weekend. Soak on that. How is that water rough? From all boats. I've been in the industry for 35 years. Here's a little history so you guys can have perspective. The reason Rock Lake and other lakes in Wisconsin have gotten rougher on 6 or 7 Saturdays and 4th of July weekend is, number one, a lot of retirees have moved to the lake. They have enjoyed the fruits of their labor and said, I want to upgrade my pontoon boat. So today, the average pontoon boat is a 200-horse, 23-foot, 3-tube boat that sits in the water pretty low. It's got a lot of motor in the back. We sell those boats, so I'm very well aware of the prop angle, which is very similar to that of the active water sports boat. Then we had COVID. COVID was wonderful for outdoor, phenomenal for outdoor recreation. Every showroom was emptied out from every type of boat, especially fishing boats. We service fishing boats. What's the average fishing boat look like? 200-horse engine, a couple extra screens and things like that, and they have these wonderful anchors that when the IMAX theater on the dashboard says, there's a fish here, they slam into the bottom water and stop that boat just like that. Interesting. Nobody's worried about that. The number one boat at your launch ramp on a given weekend is a fishing boat. So if you're worried about invasive species, you might want to look at that. Very few active water sports boats are at the launching ramp bringing invasive species. I'm not going to get into everything else, but bottom line is that everybody's lake got freshened up with higher horsepower boats, bigger boats, and heavier boats. We have a rough water issue on the lake. To demonize one group of families, 100% of boats that have gone out of my dealership, and I'm one of the bigger ones, have been sold to families like that. Why do you hate the family so much that you want to take them off the water, especially in this day and age? I look at these people all the time. They don't want to hurt your lake. Well, call a spade. I'm in the business. I meet all these people, and they've been terribly demonized, and they're scared to death. Okay, let me give you some good news. Pewaukee Lake, talk about the lakes that have fallen. Pewaukee Lake has looked at the issue. No ordinance. They're going to go with a recommendation and compromise.
Wrap it up here, 10 seconds.
Elkhart Lake, Lake Redstone, Big Cedar Lake, which just did a study where their lake is fine. The point of it is, why don't you guys get together with all parties and come up with a good compromise that doesn't take the families off the water? I thank you.
I want to remind everybody, this is the reason why we have committees and we have plan commissions, that your voice, I'm happy to see this many people at the town board meetings, but I'd love to see you serving in the capacity on town board committees, and going to those committees and voicing these concerns. They're the ones that bring it back to us and bring all the information back to us to weigh in on those decisions. That's the reason those places, that's the reason they're in place. Otherwise, there's no reason to have them at all.
My name is Margaret Krieger. I live at West 8170 Elm Point Road. And I'm just wondering how, I realize there has to be a compromise. I'm not against wake boats or the technology. I just don't think that it's right for Rock Lake, because I don't think, for number one, it can be enforced. We have a part-time police department. I've been to meetings before here, and I know it's hard to keep officers. When we do get an officer, they're hired away by someone who pays more. And there's no way that we can keep the enforcement on this lake that we need. I mean, a couple hours, I know the chief is doing the best he can, but, hours here and there on Saturday and Sunday, nothing during the week, et cetera, early in the morning, early at night, we just don't have, we haven't had a full-time patrol, and so, since Scott Irwin retired, and he was just a dedicated person to this, the lake enforcement. So that really concerns me, is how this is gonna work. And 200 feet, isn't that what we have now? We've been trying to do that. It's too close. It's just too close. And 700 feet, yes, that's too far. I don't know how that compromise would go. But our lake is only 2 miles by 1, and it's just too shallow to have all these boats. And if other lakes ban these boats, they're gonna come to Rock Lake. And it's not that I'm against other boats coming on, but there was a thing a few years ago when there was so many boats coming on, it was sort of regulated through the parking lot on off the highway there by the north end. And I just, if you can assure me that there will be adequate staffing, like daylight hours all summer long, when people do boating, that's one thing. And I also think that if you get a lot of boats on there, you have this narrow lane for people to go in, and how are you going to turn around? And certainly the wake boat, everybody wants to avoid other boats. I mean, nobody wants an accident on this thing. So I have some real concerns about that, and I just, I think that more studying has to be done by this. I think wake boats just need a deeper, bigger lake, or at least a deeper lake. And when you say 30 feet down, what is 30 feet? Is that during the drought we just had a couple years ago? Is it that 30 feet, or is it a watermark of 30 feet? So therefore, that can't be enforced. You're going to have someone out there with a depth checker every day? I mean, I don't know how that's going to work either. So I really have some concerns. And we have a 3-man board, and it's in charge of Rock Lake. And it's a big resource for that's what the town has for its assets. We don't have any other industry. And it's a big decision to make for a 3-man board too. And it's hard to have it put on to just 3 people. I realize it is, but I just have a lot of concerns about how this is going to work and how it will grow in the future. I mean, in 5 years, will we be boat to boat? I don't know. I can't make that, I can't decide that. So I just hope the right decision is made for Rock Lake, because that involves our traffic, our assessments, our value, and that also involves taxes. Less value, less taxes. So how are you going to keep up with all that? So those are my concerns. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is John Crump. I live on Storewood Hills Road and 6682. I just wanted to make a couple brief comments. One is that the people that I know that are on Rock Lake Improvement Association are all family members. I don't think that we should say that these are a bunch of people that hate families or hate people who enjoy the water. That's kind of out there. But I think wanting to preserve the health of the lake is paramount, and so we need to be careful about how we take care of it. Okay? It's not rough waters isn't the problem. It's turbulence that goes down deep into the water and damages the bed of the lake. And fish spawning beds, that sort of thing, you can ruin the lake pretty quickly. I used to live up north around Minocqua area. And between Minocqua and St. Germain, a lot of you are familiar with that area, there's 3 lakes that I would say are really iconic. Trout Lake, Plum Lake, Star Lake, all have the water fleas. It's sad. I mean, once you get them, you can't get rid of them. And I've been out on the lake a lot. I mean, many of us have. The heaviest use of the lake nowadays is by fisher with people. And if we destroy the fishing on Rock Lake, it'll be a sad day. So, and I think the health of the lake comes first, because that's what everyone enjoys. My thoughts.
You're done.
I spoke 2 minutes. Can I just finish? I forgot to turn my page.
Nope, we gotta move on. We got the rest of our board meeting to get through here.
My name is Julie Clark, and I live at West 8204 Sunset Court. A lot of the things that I was going to talk about have been mentioned, but especially how are people that are coming to our lake going to know, what the 700 feet is or what the 30 feet is, and like Marty said, how are we going to measure that? I am no longer a boater, but I am a swimmer, and we have a beautiful lake, and a lot of my relatives are fishermen, and I don't know how many fishermen are here tonight, but I would represent all the swimmers in our gorgeous lake, and I thank the new board. I hope that they take that into consideration, that it is a pristine lake, it's a beautiful lake, and we don't hate anybody that uses the lake. It is a gorgeous lake, and we're not here to say anything disparaging about it, but certainly enforcement and education are a big thing. And I don't know as far as there is a group called the Wisconsin Towns Association that assisted the town boards with different things. So I'm not sure if they come up, I know they do come up with sample legislation, and so I don't know if they would have something that they have come up, especially if there's 41 towns that have already passed some sort of ordinances. But I would encourage the new board to maybe contact the Wisconsin Towns Association. So, thank you.
Thank you. Yep, we're moving on. All right, applications. Discussion and/or decision of request from John Helt to rezone 3 acres from A1 to A2 with a conditional use to allow for engineering fabrication business located at N6484 County Road S parcel 0180713-1611002.
Get up and speak at the mic, John.
John Helt. I am new to the town of Lake Mills as we have recently moved to Highway S, N6480 and N6484. Yes, we have 2 addresses. It's a unique parcel. So, yes, I purchased the property a year ago to move out of the city and to move to the town because I thought the town would be a great place for my wife and children to have my children grow up. I operate as a professional engineer and do some light fabrication. The majority of my work is engineering. I'm a professional engineer in the state of Wisconsin, and on occasion I have clients that ask us to fabricate things. Is it often? No. Just so happens that it's more recently. The majority of work that we do is not fabricated. For clarification, the current rezone and conditional use is not for the 3-acre parcel. It is for 0.6 acres, which includes 1 building and an adjacent property to the southeast. In addition to that, there is a current driveway permit that's been on record since almost the day I purchased the property to have the driveway be relocated and to have an area for semi-traffic to turn around next to the building in the rezone and conditional use permit location. I'm moved to the town. I don't want the property to be a commercial property. I want the property to have the ability for me to do my job and continue to live a life that I chose by moving from the city to the town. The rest of the property will remain A1A, which allows for us to have our home and continue to do rural agricultural things such as the large garden that we've already started by tilling, and the animals we choose to bring to the farm, as my wife thinks we're going to bring a donkey from her cousins in Illinois. I don't know about the donkey, but at the end of the day, this rezone and conditional use was to allow for me to continue doing what I would like to do. When I did move, I did consult the town and talk to Robin regarding the uses of the property, and I've spent a significant amount of time at the county zoning office making sure that my engineering business was within the rights as it was, and then I put in the process for this. So it is a lengthy process, and it's expensive. For those of you that don't know the process, it does require surveying and continual meetings with the county, a planning commission meeting, or plan commission meeting, a town board meeting, and a county hearing to have all of this done. And at the end of it, it'll be several $1,000s that I put into adjusting this so that I can continue doing the job that I have. I think that's it. I'm open to questions. I hope that clarifies. And if you would like to know what the balls are, I can explain what the balls are.
It's not for the giant ball pit?
No, it's not for the giant ball pit. They're not trailers of balls. I have a client in Milwaukee that's building the Milwaukee Museum, and the product is a concrete product. If anybody's ever seen ancient architecture and structures, arches are very strong and prevalent in structural use. You go to Europe, you can see them everywhere. Well, a ball or a sphere is just as structurally sound and very strong. So the ball is merely just recycled plastic. It's a green product that we put inside rebar, and then we ship it to Milwaukee and other places. This is just a Milwaukee project. There's not a significant portion of projects coming. It's just this so happens to be the one that showed up, and it keeps an air pocket. So when the concrete is poured around it, it creates the void to make the concrete lighter and stronger. And it uses plastic so it doesn't go into a landfill rather than being thrown away. That's what the product is. It's not. I did have Tim Klottenbach, who lives on Shorewood Hills Road, reached out, and Lee Leverton reached out. They're the only two people that have contacted me with questions, and I've tried to fill Tim's. He didn't return my phone call, and I did answer Lee's, and I think Dave also answered Lee's, about what they are, because everybody thinks that they're crazy things. So they're really not. They're actually kind of cool from an engineering standpoint, and they're also helping things. They're reducing the amount of concrete and the amount of plastic that goes into the landfill. So now I'm done. I'm sorry.
I don't have any questions.
I got more phone calls than you did.
I'm sure you did.
Everybody at the election wanted to know what they were.
If I could put up a sign, but according to the zoning office, I can't put up a sign and tell everybody what they are. So. And as far as the semi, I was aware of the semi-traffic. The driveway permit has already been in place so that we can reduce that amount of issue. Because I still need a semi to come in and deliver the steel if I do make something at the fabrication. So.
The only other question I had received from a resident is they're on, of course, they went on Google Maps. They noted that there's a business listed there as Fire Rescue Direct. It's some sort of.
It's an online resale business that I also own. That's part of TBRT Engineering. And if you so choose, Mass Case Fire and Rescue Products is also part of TBRT Engineering. As it doesn't matter this, I'm also a volunteer on the local fire department, and because I'm an engineer, I can't help but not fix a problem, so I developed a product a long time ago. Ironically, that product isn't even made there. It's all made by somebody else, and I just field the orders and sell them from a computer.
She asked if that was related to all the balls.
It's not related to the balls.
Okay.
I wish the overarching thing is TBRT Engineering, and FireRescueDirect.com is technically the full name. It's just an online reseller to sell the products for mass case.
Thank you for that clarification.
So John, the driveway, is it gonna be to the north or the south?
The driveway follows the south property line that you own.
On the back page.
Right, okay. Oh, okay.
That is,
'Cause that's not on mine.
It's on the back page.
It's on the back
Turn
page.
it.
Yep.
and that's
Oh.
applied to at the county because the county highway is.
Yep, and that was applied and approved last year.
Doesn't that driveway also have to be A2, otherwise you're crossing the A3 to get to an A2?
They said it did not.
It does not have to?
But I don't know the rules, I just go off of what they told me.
Yeah, well, in a way, I like it because that keeps you from selling your A2.
Well, that was brought up in the plan commission.
Okay.
And it's not a split of the parcel, it's just it's a rezoned district, so the parcel still stays 3 acres.
Right, yeah. So I guess one of the concerns of the phone calls that I've received from that is, as long as you own it and you live there, you know, that's one topic. But the other topic is if you sell it, you know, then how is that controlled with the conditional use permit? Because the zoning stays with the property, not you. So,
Can that be Lee's question regarding the conditional use? If I leave, the conditional use is null and void, is it not?
I talked to the county about that on Monday, asked them if conditional use goes to the property or to the person, you. And they said, it depends on how we pass the conditional use, so we can make it go tag to you. So when you terminate your business or leave, conditional use is gone.
That's what I understood.
You can do it either way, but you have to specifically
Yes,
state.
the
and that would
zoning
work for me.
Yeah, the zoning would stay, it's just the conditional use
Yeah.
part of the zoning.
Yeah, which makes
would
sense.
end.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Somebody else is gonna come in and maybe do it.
Right. Did anybody, Jim, did you guys talk to John about operation hours? Beavers, grinders, banging?
Tell us what your operation hours are, your manufacturing hours.
If I'm going to make something, it's between 8 and 5.
8 and 5?
And there hasn't been any semi-traffic earlier than 7 or later than 5. I mean, it varies, I guess, but I don't think that there's a noise concern. Lee, have you heard anything? Okay.
Can I just ask how many semis are you expecting, like 2 a day or 3 a day or?
I don't expect a lot. And every day, it's like 1 or 2 every couple of days. That's how it's been, and I don't intend on continuing to do this project like this. Like I said, it comes with the clients, and I'd rather do more engineering.
Yeah. If you're a good entrepreneur, you'll sell it off to someone else.
Yeah. And get it away, right? And then keep the property for toys, right?
There you go.
Yeah.
Keep
it precise.
I don't.
Otherwise, we gotta do the zoning first.
Yeah, I'm okay with it.
I'll make a motion to approve the zoning of the .68 acres from A1 to A2.
I will second Jim's motion.
Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Motion carries.
Now, for the conditional use, I'll make a motion to approve the conditional use for John Helt and not for the property. And if John Helt terminates his business, the conditional use on this property is also terminated. And I would also add that we'll require a 2-year review every 2 years.
I'll second Jim's motion.
Can I ask a question on that?
Yep.
Sorry. Can it be for, my wife owns the property with me, can it be me and my wife, if something happens to me, can she have grace to figure it out? So that she's not left high and dry?
What's her name?
Tiffany.
Tiffany. John and Tiffany Helt.
You can amend that.
Sorry.
You amend that. Make that amendment.
Yep.
He was away.
Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Motion carries.
You're also a teacher at MAT.
I also teach engineering and mechanical design at Madison College.
John, I don't think I have your email address. Would you be able to email me so I can send you copies of these signatures?
I can email you.
That'd be great.
We have traded emails, but it's cool.
I've searched.
It's okay.
But I don't think I
It's
saved
all
it, so I
right.
couldn't find it.
Okay.
So once
I
these are
just-
signed, I'll send them off to you.
And I don't need to be on here because I was on the agenda, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Correct, yeah.
Just making sure. Anything else? Okay, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
And I appreciate it. I do apologize, I have to go to.
Good luck.
Another thing on Tuesday nights
Yeah.
as well. So I do apologize to step out, but thank
Go
you.
right ahead.
Thanks, John.
All right, moving on. Discussion or decision to request for special event permit for the Rock Lake Regatta. Everything looks good
Yeah. You know, there's never been any trouble here.
Nope.
I'll make a motion to approve these special events for the Rock Lake.
I'm like an Easter bunny, I just briefly show up
Okay.
every year.
This time.
I'll second it.
Any other discussion? You always do a great job, so I,
Yeah.
Do you want to
I'm
explain
very
what
thorough.
it is and what it is you're doing, as long as you kind of discussion, just recap quick.
You're just doing the regatta. Yep, it's a race, right?
It
Sand
is, right, so we operate from Sandy Beach, and we've got a permit from the city already,
Yep.
so this is the on-the-water activity. And, nothing's changed.
All right.
Okay, hope you have
All-
good weather.
Yep,
Right?
good luck.
5/17, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m.
It's the weekend, Saturday and Sunday, the weekend before Labor Day weekend. Every year.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, say nay. Motion carries. Discussion or decision to request a special event permit for the
Thank
Lake
you.
Mills Triathlon.
I have submitted permits again for the Lake Mills Triathlon. I intend to run it the same way it has for the past decade or more. There is one change I would like to make. To avoid using our bikes on Mud Lake Road, I have proposed a different bicycle route. I have reached out to JSEC, who has agreed to provide they're looking for 2 officers at each of the intersections I have listed on the map. I've reached out to the fire department and Ryan Brothers regarding the EMS. They say they're able to do it. We just need to figure out exactly what the bike route's going to be and who's going to cover that portion. I reached out to the police, and after today's meeting, I realized I sent it to the wrong person, so I will be sending you an email after this. I have also reached out to Jefferson County Sheriff's Department, but I have not heard back from them either.
Do you have an idea of what bike route it may be? Or
Yep, it would start the same, it would come down Sandy Beach Road, turn down Topol Road, A or whatever, and then it would turn right onto County Road S, go up to Shorewood Hills, and then it would turn left onto some wood-named road, which turns back.
Woodfield.
Yeah, Woodfield, which turns back into Shorewood Hills. They would follow the same route back, go back south down County Road S.
That's your best road.
That's what I was.
Smoother roads for the most part.
Well, I had also heard that County Road S was not busy, and then I heard it was busy, so
Yeah. It
is
I'm
busy.
really looking for input.
The only issue you have there is you're gonna have bikes traveling both ways.
Yep, I would say
That's
we'd-
against our ordinance.
Oh,
Only
okay.
can go one way, so you have to have a loop.
Well, they could loop on the B.
Yeah, but
Are
he's gotta,
you able to use the bike trail at all? Because off of Highway S can take Finch Brothers and loop it back around on the bike trail.
That is a possibility.
Okay.
I also have a secondary backup loop where we continue down County Road A till we hit London, take London, or turn right on London, turn left on Britsky across A, and then we come up by the smelly chicken farm thing over there. And then it would be A back into town again. So, clearly I need to do a little more research and get some more input, but
Unfortunately. Britsky's not that in great condition, that little part.
yeah.
This is June 1st.
don't they just go all the way through into back into the city and come around?
Yeah, that's what I was.
That would be the best, because all those roads are really good.
You take B all the way up and then.
Yeah, just take Short Hills Road down to B and then B into the city and then back around that way.
I didn't know if going through the city would cause problems with anybody, or if we
Well, that's
need
up to
more
them, but
police.
You'd have to contact the city on that.
Yeah,
But you'd at least be on pretty good roads.
pretty good roads. All right,
Smooth roads
How
and
many-
straight shots,
how many
no
participants?
heavily curved
we're
roads.
looking at around like 550 to 600 again.
So I guess it would be pending those couple things.
Yep. I would say.
That and the police.
Yeah, I guess I just need to know that bike route so I can take a look at it.
Yeah. I would say pending your approval and
It's reviewed by.
the sheriff's department, because they gotta deal with it.
So what is it? It's June 1st, okay.
Yeah, so it's kinda gotta be.
So you could have a new map or route figured out by May.
I can have it by the end of this week.
Yeah.
I can
And
send
the
a
board
couple of
can
options.
look at
If you
that,
can
review
email
that.
to me. Yeah, I'll email you tonight. So.
Okay. And you'll have more information as far as police and,
Yep, I should have more answers
by
by
then
then.
too.
Yep.
Okay.
Other than that, your plan is well put together. You got the emergency plan protocols, your certificate of insurance, so yeah, you clean up those couple things.
I'll make a motion to approve the triathlon for June 1st, with the condition that you submit a new map by the second Tuesday of May, and with the information on police and fire and EMS.
I will second.
Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, all opposed, say nay, motion carries.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your service.
Old business, this, we need to take, it's discussion or decision on a resolution creating the town of Lake Mills regulations for the sale of alcohol beverages in municipal parks. This has been tabled, we need to take it off the table.
I'll make a motion to take it off the table.
Second.
Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, all opposed, say nay, motion carries.
Read it? You gonna read it?
Yep. Town of Lake Mills Resolution Number 2025-0408, resolution creating the Town of Lake Mills regulations for sale of alcohol beverages in municipal parks. Whereas the Town of Lake Mills recently adopted a town ordinance to create alcohol beverage licensing permit standards and criteria, and whereas part of the town's ordinance, the town was to decide whether to allow the sale of fermented malt beverages in public parks operated by the town, which section 2-1-7J of the town ordinance states the following. J, public parks. The sale of fermented malt beverages in any public park operated by a municipality. Fermented malt beverages shall be sold by officers or employees of the county or municipality under an ordinance, resolution, rule, or regulation acted by the municipality. Whereas the ability to allow the sale of fermented malt beverages in public parks operated by the town derives from Wisconsin statutes, section 125.066. And whereas by the adoption of this resolution, the town intends to allow the sale of fermented malt beverages by officers or employees of the town in public parks operated by the town. And whereas the town board finds that it is in the best interest of the town of Lake Mills residents to allow for the sale of fermented malt beverages by the town officers or employees in public parks operated by the town of Lake Mills. Now therefore be it resolved, the town board of the town of Lake Mills approves the sale of fermented malt beverages in town-operated parks by the town of Lake Mills officers and employees at special events that have been approved by the town board. Be it further resolved that the town clerk and the town chairperson are authorized to effectuate this resolution, passed and adopted by the town board of the town of Lake Mills on this day.
Make a motion to approve resolution number 2025-0408 as read.
I will second.
Any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion carries. New business, discussion or decision on a wake enhancement technology ordinance for Rock Lake. You want me to go first, or?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. All right, obviously, this has been a very, very complicated issue. That's why it's taken the state a long, long time to figure out if they're going to act and when they're going to act. We did reach out to the county, or I did, to the Land Conservation Committee, and I initially asked him essentially for the county to enact a resolution, because they can't enact an ordinance. But a resolution would help other municipalities kind of draw a formula for this complicated tactic. It helped tremendously. They have a lot more staff and research ability than anybody else has. And obviously they have even more at the state level. Obviously they decided to send it to the Counties Association, essentially, instead of doing that. So my guess is there's legal concerns. Obviously there's potential legal battles looming on the horizon. And I can tell you right now, just from a financial perspective at the town board level, we are not capable of fighting such things. We don't have the money. You just don't have the attorney power. I mean, we have a part-time attorney essentially that we use when we absolutely need to use them. We can't use an attorney to fight and battle something this large against massive companies. So it really resides, I feel, at the state level. I understand all the concerns with invasive species, but invasive species, it can be spread in a number of different ways. What would be really nice, I know we have the Clean Boats, Clean Waters program, and I've seen this in another area of the state, where an actual lake association dumped like $12,000 to have that staff at their landing full-time through the season. So I think there's other educational opportunities. Obviously we have 5 landings, so that becomes a hair bit more challenging. But a lot of the issues that revolve around any watercraft issue is definitely enhanced by heavily educating people and boaters in using those types of resources. I've heard a lot of different research. I've seen a lot of different research. I've been in a lot of different meetings at county levels and at state levels regarding this subject. I've heard just about any argument in the world on this subject. But at the end of the day, we need guidance, being a smaller municipality. We have a fairly large lake here. We are not comparable to small lakes. So it becomes even a trickier issue. I know there's a lake, lake associations even up in the middle part of the state where they think a 2,000 acre lake is too small for that type of craft. So where does it end, or where's that line drawn in the sand? There's a lot of different lake levels, things like that. I know from an enforcement standpoint, anybody that's ever been on the water with law enforcement, trying to figure out any type of zone, even the slow no wake zone, it's very, very difficult. It's an imaginary line, essentially. So when you're on the water level, very difficult to even enforce something like that. So once again, it comes back to education before somebody even gets onto a lake, essentially. So those are some of the thoughts that I have on it. Very complicated, emotional issue, obviously. Not a fun one. But at the end of the day, I feel that we need, overall guidance by a big entity that we can go by and that other people can follow. Because the last thing I want to see, these are state public waters. There's boaters moving around from lake to lake, essentially. And every time somebody enacts a different ordinance and a different regulation, guess what? It becomes really, really complicated for the DNR and for law enforcement to do their job. You're just confusing the living heck out of them. So we need to make, it should be an efficient deal. I think there's better options and better collaboration and education that can take place, to come to some kind of agreement. and something that may not even need to be regulated. If you come to consensus with the water sports groups, the environmental groups, and say, hey, can we educate people to say, hey, you know, kind of stick to these areas on this lake, and educating them at the landings that day when they're getting on the lake. Those are the types of things that I think, you know, will work. But that's my opinion.
I agree. We probably, all of us get emails. This last couple of months, we've been bombarded by emails. I mean, and they're on both sides, for and against. I understand all the reasons and the science, but you read one, science says it's bad for what the RLIA says. Then you read some other science that says the opposite, and that the tests are wrong. So, you know, that puts us in a tough place. I'm not a scientist. I don't study this stuff, but I just feel that, like Tom feels, the state, I think the DNR is the one who's gonna have to make the decision and the rules and the things on this and enforce it statewide. It's just, I think, the best way to go, stay out of legal battles. And just my opinion. I know we have a really nice lake. It's a deep lake. It's a relatively, it's 1,300 acres or whatever. It's a nice sized lake. So I see why people want to do wake enhanced technology. I personally don't like it. I've been out on the lake and hit a 3-foot high wave, and during the week one day, didn't even see it coming. There's no white water. It just looks like water, and all of a sudden there's a wall rolling at you. It's not fun, but that's the technology, I guess.
You have anything, Dave?
Nope, I'm gonna stay with the same comment before, that I think it's up to the state to kind of set the groundwork.
Yeah, and one last comment I'm just gonna make is, you know, we also have to base this decision on the entirety of the township and its residents. So, you know, any ordinance that gets, obviously there has to be some level or some way, to enforce it.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, an issue this large and this complicated, and to try to, you know, use a part-time attorney to do it, I mean, that affects every resident in this town, those payments that go out. And I'm not sold that every resident in the town would support something like that. There's people on the lake, but this is, you know, what, 50 people in the room, 60? Our township is 2,200 people roughly. So, all right, I'm gonna ask for a motion tonight and.
Just gonna table it?
No, I'm just gonna ask for a motion. Can I get a motion for the town board to enact a wake enhancement technology ordinance for Rock Lake?
I'll make that motion to approve that.
Second.
Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye. All against, say nay.
Nay.
Nay. Motion carries to not support that.
So does that mean they can do wake boats now until this ordinance is enacted, or how does it stand as far as what they can do on the lake like tomorrow? I mean,
So they put it against it, so they're leaving no rules.
Right. Basically, we're saying that, basically, during the discussion, we all felt that that's a state issue, that they have to develop regulation for it.
So there's no votes right now pending an ordinance? I just want to be clear on this.
They can use it, and there's no ordinance.
Yep,
So you can use all the wake boats you want because there's no ordinance?
correct.
Correct.
All right, moving on. Discussion or decision on ditching work to be done on Cedar Lane by Jefferson County. Okay, I think we brought this up at a previous board meeting in the fall. And essentially, just wait till we clear up.
Yeah, just.
Anyone that's gonna clear out, we'll let you do that for a second here.
So now you're wondering what the heck? You won't.
People will remind you, don't worry, Kyle.
You wanna mess with people? Mess with them.
Put your conversations off.
All right, let's go, let's go. Okay, discussion or decision of ditching work to be done on Cedar Lane. I think I brought this up last fall. Brian had initially come in with a price of like $2,500, and this is to that area where it keeps washing out on the shoulder of the road. Both engineers were out there. They both determined the ground is too high, and it has to be just, gently touched up and sloped. Otherwise, the problem's going to continue to happen.
They're just gonna pan it out to the culvert, right?
Essentially, yeah, it's going to be very non-invasive.
Right,
I mean,
yeah.
essentially what they're going to, what they would do. But it would work. Greg had gotten back to Brian, and the cost was more like $3,500 or something like that. That's why I brought this back to the board. They ran out of time to do it last fall.
Yeah.
That's why it didn't get done. But I just wanted to get it on here and move it forward. So
This would be to have the county do the work?
yes.
For about 3,500.
Roughly, yeah. And the thing about the county is they've always done a good job, and they've never really, they've always seemed to come under actually on most things. But
They were gonna mat it then right away.
I would say on here not to exceed $4,000.
We couldn't hear because all the people were moving, so are you saying that the county is going to dredge from Cedar Lake?
No, this is
No,
a
no,
ditching.
no.
This is a whole separate issue.
Okay.
Ditching.
It's just the side of the road.
It's from Hope's driveway that does not have a culvert to the driveway that has a culvert, so it's only about, 50, 60 feet.
Yeah, it's where where the shoulder keeps washing out.
I'll make a motion that we have the county do the ditching work on Cedar Lane for not to exceed $4,000.
Second.
Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Motion carries. Discussion or decision of contract renewal with Joe Cooper, Coconut Pearl for pier and buoys and swim ropes on Rock Lake.
Now, he is kind of the one contract that has been carrying over, and I think his was expired as of last year. It will continue year by year, but that's one that it should be addressed at some point.
I did talk to Joe, and he's willing to do it. He didn't feel sad about not doing it. So I know. He's been great to have, I'll say, because those buoys that when they do come loose on the lake, he's out there or his son's out there, and they get them back up and running like in no time. And it doesn't matter if it's a Saturday or Sunday. To have somebody local doing that on the lake is pretty incredible.
And he's been doing a lot of the maintenance on the buoys.
And maintenance on the buoys as well, correct. So, I mean, I think it's a no-brainer, but that's me.
Yeah, he didn't want to make any changes.
Can he install the piers at Ferry Park now?
The Roland Pier he can deal with, because that one was gonna essentially move
To Elm Point.
Yeah, and the other existing one would go to there, but Matt can deal with those two. It wouldn't even necessarily have to be Dale Anderson.
Okay, so.
Because he actually asked me about that, if you wanted him to just do them, but.
Well, that's why
I don't know what the new one's, and this is gonna be the new town board to have to deal with. We've been operating with D.L. Anderson for the major pier removals, and the lighter portable ones has been Joe Cooper, essentially. But I don't know what that new pier consists of, so I don't know how taking that in and out is gonna be like. And I don't think even D.L. knew until they figured out who the contractor was.
Oh, so, okay, I guess I'm not, so the one that we took off the north end, you were gonna move to the ferry, but it was gonna be reworked?
They were gonna try to cobble one to make one really good, essentially. Because they were in fairly good disrepair. That north launch took a beating.
Is it gonna be repairable enough to use at Fair.
We don't know that, and that, once again, won't be our decision anymore.
But he charges by the hour anyway.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, okay.
But having something like the roll-in we put at Ferry last year, and we made that decision, was basically, we had asked them that it would work in both places. That was our intent, was to move that one over to Elm Point. Because it's not really much different than one we had there, and that's not a commercial pier. And that area gets beat up pretty good too at Ferry. So it would be better to have something a little bit more solid in that spot.
So are you gonna continue to work with Kyle and just trim?
Yep.
To get that pier all taken care of?
Transition, yeah.
Yeah, all right.
Yep. I'm not going anywhere.
All right.
So, doesn't matter who it is, give me a call.
I make a motion to approve the contract with Coconut Pearl.
So we'll have the draft updated contract and
Yeah. When it gets all resolved.
I will second.
When the piers get resolved.
right.
He was
Any other
happy with
discussion?
his rate and everything?
The what?
With his rate?
That's an old rate, so.
I know, is he happy with that rate, or what was he gonna do?
I don't know if he's happy with that or not. But I don't think, once again, Joe lives in the town, he's gonna be pretty honest with the town. I don't think
Right.
that is gonna affect us a whole lot.
Yeah.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Motion carries. Discussion or decision, a workshop with new board members and or special meeting for transitioning.
We'd like to have a meeting with the new board members to explain what's going on, some things that are in the wings.
I know when I saw Kyle and Tracy and they said the 10th possibly. John, do you have anything? Any available?
This month, the 10th? Yeah,
Yeah.
Thursday. What day is that?
Thursday.
Thursday this week.
I have something Thursday evening. Would it be, when would it be on Thursday?
Yeah, he can't do Thursday.
Yeah, I can make it work on Thursday.
During the day, Dawn?
During the day, I can move my work schedule around.
The only thing we have is our
In the morning,
road
yeah.
tour in the morning.
Yeah, so if we could, whatever works for you two, I'm available. I've had all day Thursday, so I'm good. Whatever you guys want to make that happen.
So afternoon?
Okay, I don't have my calendar with me. Should I?
We can work on maybe a specific time if you
Okay.
email me what your availability is and we'll
Do
get
we
that
think
honed in.
everyone's available Thursday afternoon right now?
Yeah.
Starting at like.
Unless you guys wanted to do the morning and then we just, and then whoever wants to come along, I guess, for the other part can come along. For 32 miles of road.
Do a road tour?
Yeah.
Okay.
So.
Well, it wouldn't hurt if they went.
Yeah.
Usually the whole board goes together.
It's an option just to see and kind of get somewhat of an explanation anyway. Not that it, like I said, I'm not going away, so if there's
Why don't we
questions.
do this? Why don't you guys email what your availability is?
Okay.
We'll hone in on some times for Thursday.
Yeah.
And then, because I have to post it, and we'll go from there.
I cannot on Thursday evening either.
Okay, yeah, so Thursday evening's out, so it's gonna be sometime during the day.
Yeah.
And Sharon's says that she's busy during
I'm
the
not
day.
gonna be good till 10. 10 on Thursday, 10.
You
After
can't do
10.
anything till 10?
Yeah. I won't be able to do anything earlier than 10 o'clock.
Okay.
Not 6 o'clock, Jim?
Spectrum coming. No, it's Spectrum coming.
Well, I don't know.
Well, if you want to go, because he can't do anything till 10 for that part, it's gonna take us like, I would say,
2-3 hours, 2.5.
yeah, 2 hours. I mean, if we started it, well, what time do you think?
You're gonna
we'd
have to
get
drive
it?
fast. We usually
I can
start at
get
8,
it
we're
at
done at 1:30 or
10,
so.
10:30.
10:30, so if we started at like 8:30, then we'd be back and then these guys will be here then. Is that okay with you or?
Oh, yeah, it's fine. It's gonna be rainy or snowy or something. Not in the morning.
And yeah, just if you want to get that, I mean, that's kind of the plan, I guess.
So you're gonna do,
Do the road in the morning.
okay, so you're gonna do the road tour, just you, not the entire board, right?
You know, just me and
And Kyle.
whoever else wants to come.
John, okay.
Yeah.
Tracy, you know the roads around here pretty well.
What time are we doing the road tour?
8:30, starting 8:30 in the morning.
Okay.
And then we would meet after that here with, so
Okay.
whoever wants to come on road, that would be first, and then we come when these gentlemen can get here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then
And
we
then-
would do the special meeting at 10:30.
Sure, I will join for the road as well.
Okay.
Okay.
Should be, 8:30 should work
Thank
fine.
you. Then you got all afternoon.
Well, basically,
You're
the
gonna be
special meetings are
brand
after
dead.
the road tour, correct,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay, I will get the notice put together, send it to everybody, confirm everything, and then I'll get it posted for the 24-hour
Okay, I
notice.
still have to confirm that,
Yep.
but I think I'm good.
Okay. And it's more that they're still board members, so the quorum issue is with them, not necessarily with you guys. So I just have to make sure that the quorum is covered because they're still the active board members, so, for the open meeting
Dave, you
laws.
wanna come around for a road tour?
What if there's only one of them?
I was hoping this was the start of my exit.
Right.
Okay.
Yep.
I can tell you where all the bad ones are.
Okay.
No, I know that.
So you're gonna let us know.
There's only 32 miles of road?
So we don't really need to make a decision.
Yeah.
No,
There's
we
only
just,
32
one
miles of
Right.
township road?
Yeah. But by the time you get done with those 32 miles, you think you walked it.
okay.
All right, correspondence.
I have another application that's gonna be coming, for the Martin Trust. That'll have to get reviewed, at the next plan commission meeting and town board meeting. That's the most important one, so.
And they're gonna have a town board meeting right after the annual meeting, correct?
Right,
Short
the
one.
tentative plan is to have a special meeting after the annual meeting on April 15th, because there are gonna be the needs to appoint, especially plan commission members, so that those meetings prior to the town board meeting in May can continue.
And
So-
one of the board members, either John or
Yeah.
Tracy goes on the plan commission.
Right.
So that's up to you guys.
Yep.
And Dave's position, EMS.
Yeah, I went over with Kyle all the appointments that
Okay,
are coming
all
up,
right,
yeah.
all right.
All
So
right.
he
After
knows it's
Friday and
coming.
today, I'm really
He's got the
questioning
list.
that one.
We got the list, so.
You're still on the committee, so you don't have a choice.
Right, yeah. Probably for one more meeting. A meeting in April, or in May for electing new officers.
All right.
So
just-
then, actually, Robin, then these guys get sworn in on the 15th
They're
after
sworn
the
in.
annual
They're
meeting.
sworn already, but.
They're already
sworn
sworn
in?
in because
Okay.
state law says 5 days after the election,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
they're all sworn in.
Okay,
Your term ends that Monday.
15th.
They're, 14th.
the 14th.
14th?
14th.
Yep, they
okay.
start on the 15th.
So then we get to be back there looking this way.
That's right.
Yeah, that'll be a first in what, 20-some years?
22.
Wow.
Okay,
Jim's got me beat though.
26.
26 total?
Yep.
Don't scare him, Dave. Don't scare him.
I was gonna say, I think
Kyle,
Sharon
I
over
was
here has
like
you all beat.
44
so-
and had black hair.
How many years
Okay.
did you say?
Yeah, thanks.
All right. Discussion of future agenda items.
So the Martin Trust will be one, we'll start getting, probably liquor licenses are gonna be coming down the line, I don't think quite yet for the May meeting, it's more likely the June meeting.
But you can do them.
I can't do I can do the operators, but I
Okay.
can't do the rest of them,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Anything else you guys can think of that we need to,
You'll have more once the work session is.
yeah, we'll establish the agenda more then.
What about these guys in the board of review and all that stuff?
I've got the information to do the virtual board review. I am gonna provide the information to them.
Okay.
So they can do their homework, because there's a lot to it, to understand it. But I will be the one that's certified this year. So
Okay.
that we're legal.
Yeah.
There's a script that we follow, so if we follow the script, we'll be okay. But, yeah.
And that's all laid out for you, so it's no.
And most likely it won't be till fall anyway.
Right, and that is one agenda item that might be coming
that's
up,
right,
is
'cause
that we may have to
recessed.
postpone
Yeah.
the board review, and that's gotta be an action done at a meeting.
Meeting,
To do that.
Yep.
Okay.
I have
Meeting
a question
schedule.
before you adjourn. Are the other commissions and committees staffed? In other words, is there people on the Parks Committee, and I know during Rock Lake was short people.
Like the Plan Commission members, we have Sarah Mukta and Steve Nass that are currently on and their terms are ending, but they both agreed that they are willing to continue. Is that what you mean? 'Cause
Right,
those-
she has an
there'll be a few-
overall list of the terms and how long they're on there for and when they come up. And then
Okay.
there's gonna be
Yeah.
some vacancies, so.
Yeah.
Meetings scheduled?
Yep, meeting scheduled, April 15th, 2025, annual meeting of the electors, 7 PM at the town hall. May 6th, 2025, plan commission meeting, 7 PM at the town hall. May 8th, 2025, joint Rock Lake Committee meeting, 6 PM at the city. May 13th, 2025, town board meeting, 7 PM at the town hall. And a potential special meeting here on Thursday.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Meeting adjourned at 8:45 PM.